Good evening, everybody. Today I'm just going to be reviewing all the trades I took today, Tuesday, December 17th, 2024. Just going to, instead of doing it on a normal chart and just showing you guys, where I entered, where I exited, I'm going to be doing it in replay mode. So you guys could, watch as the trades happen live. You guys could always just go back in Discord and see all my alerts, my commentary, what I was saying. But what I'm gonna be basically just doing today is explaining in real time, what was going through my head as the trades, went on, as I added, as I, trimmed some, as basically just the trades went on. I'm excited for this. I haven't really done this before, but this video may be a little bit long. But I do recommend you guys stick around because I do think, it'll have some good information. And you never really get to see this from anybody else. Most people just show you hindsight or whatever. But I'm taking these trades live in front of you guys. Sharing them, telling you guys exactly what I'm buying, what I'm selling. So nobody else really does this. So I do highly recommend you guys, watch, even though it might be a little bit long. I promise I'll try to make it worth it. So that's a 10-minute chart. That's a 15. I'm not gonna replay those. I'm just gonna keep them on. What I'm going to be replaying is the 1 minute chart where I basically just executed, and I'm just going to be explaining all my thoughts as they happened in real time. And then you guys could also see most of my fills, I believe. So yeah. Okay, so right there, what I'm before the market even opened, I have a buy zone between 80 to 300, 80 to 95 to 300. So in that area, I want to buy, and that's just because of the previous day. It really set up for a beautiful retracement back since we had a big drop from overnight. So you guys can see my full explanation. Here's exactly what I said. I said I'm looking for a potential dip to 280 to go long, targeting 340. So I was looking at the 280 area to go long, so somewhere here to go long for 340, which is basically the opening range high, and that is before the market even opened. Keep that in mind. Let's keep going. So I added here, and then I added a stop at 90, I believe, right under the opening range low, which if it cuts me out, it cuts me out. So it bounced a little bit here, and I just got stopped out. And I saw it hold real quick in the same area where I got stopped, so I added with the same stop at the bottom, just like a couple points lower at 85. And then I had my sell at the opening range mid. It's a really powerful pivot. So I basically just put half my order there, and just to take some risk off. And I don't like to start the day red as well. I like to start green. And when I saw it basically just struggle there, I just took the rest of the position off. So at this point, I'm still thinking, okay, this opening range low is kind of holding. Remember the 80 area I talked about? It's holding exactly literally to the tick. And I'm looking, at this 80 to 300 area to go along for potentially 340 or 360. Because this could really break out. This could just kind of zigzag here, go up, down, and then just like fly, right? But it's kind of still making lower lows. It's not really confirmed yet in my eyes. So I take a short there real quick. And basically the main idea of the short is I'm going to have a stop loss around 320, which is the overnight low. I'm going to have a stop loss around 320 to 325. And what's it called? And I'm going to be looking for a retracement back to possibly around the 300 area, which is like around 15 points, and maybe even lower. We don't really get a move lower, so I take some position off at 300 because I'm up 15 points in like 3 seconds. So I'm obviously going to take that. And then some of the other position I stop out at 323 at the overnight high, because overnight low, because I'm thinking over this area right here, this area right there, we could really just break out to 340, 360, and I don't want to face it. And remember, my bias in the morning was long to between 280 to 300. So I can't just be short all of a sudden in the middle of it when I'm betting for it to go up when my original plan was for it to go up. I had a quick short, made some money, get out. It's not. I'm not gonna marry the trade. I'm not gonna marry the bias. You know, you made some money, you stopped out on the rest. You know, basically just get the fuck out. If you know it's gonna go up, or if your thesis says it's gonna go up, there's no reason for you to still be in the trade when it can explode. And that's basically what happens, right? You didn't see me FOMO back in or any of that. The trade basically just rips, right? We kind of get a failed breakout here. Okay, at this point right here, I'm thinking, okay, you know, we kind of made this low. We kind of made this bottom here at the open. We retested the opening range mid. We held it. We exploded over the high, and now we're holding the 5-minute opening range high. So basically, where we opened, the absolute high where we basically opened, we're holding it as support. So I'm thinking, okay, if we can hold this 25, you know, the 35 area as support without going under the opening range mid at 310 to 315, we could potentially go a lot higher. This is what I'm thinking right now. I'm thinking, you know, if we can do something like this, and then, you know, kind of just like zigzag here, we can, you know, potentially just go something like that. So I add right there, and then my stop is, you know, under the opening range mid right there. I need to remove those, man. So I'm still adding a little bit more because as long as it doesn't go under this 313 area, which is my stop loss, we're still good. So any of those ads, those ads, you know, have a much bigger stop loss than those ads. You know, those ads are 10 points less. I'm only risking maybe 5-8 points on those ads compared to these points where I'm risking, you know, 15. So any ad closer to my stop loss, as long as my setup is valid, is still a good ad. You know, and I added a little bit less here, just so if it dips near my stop loss, I could afford buying more into my normal position size. And then I add more as I know we're confirming we're going up, you know, now that we held and we didn't go under, I just basically add again on the way up. I tried to get a little bit lower, but it just moved really quickly, and I'm not gonna be really stingy on the price. As long as I could get a good fill, and I'm aiming to get higher into 50, 60, I'm not gonna let a 30, 40 point trade get away from me for, you know, 3, 4 points, especially when I'm risking like 13 points, whatever. So I added more there as we're still holding the area. So as long as we're above the opening range mid, I'm just adding in small increments. Like all those are 1 to 2 contracts. I'm adding in small increments into my into my normal position size. I'm not oversizing. I'm not over leveraging. These are all just my normal size trades. But I know I added less. This trade's a little bit heavier, obviously. But I know I added less in the start, just so if it consolidates around here, I can add more comfortably, and I'm not just sitting here and be like, oh my god, I wish I could buy more down here. Does that make sense? And yeah, so I start selling some into strength there. I think it's so laggy. I start selling some into strength right there, around the 50 area, just because we popped, you know, 25 points really quickly, and I was in a little bit heavy at the time, so I just started selling a little bit. I'm gonna make this a little bit slower. And right now I'm thinking, okay, as long as we could kind of hold this 38 area, I think we could just like hold this 38 area, maybe revisit 31, and then, you know, go back to 70 or something. That's kind of what I'm thinking with my stop loss under this 13, 15 area. I already took a lot of profits up near the 50s, so this trade can now go red anymore. It's impossible. Which is basically what happens. It just knifes down, and I take a small loss on this. But all the other ads, it basically just made money on. So at this point, I'm thinking, okay, you know, we can probably revisit this, you know, 288 area under 313. I'm not bullish. I'm bearish. But as long as we can kind of hold this, you know, 270, 280 area, I'm still kind of bullish. I'm not really that bearish. I'd only be bearish, you know, if we broke under 270 and we try to retest this 290 and then we reject, which is what I also said in the pre-market plan. So the fact that we didn't reject there tells me that there's still buying pressure. But if we struggled here and we kind of zigzagged, and then, you know, I could kind of see a move coming down. I believe I take a long here soon. So you can see the market kind of stalling near the 75 area, 73 area, where we have very close to the morning lows. So I'm maybe looking for a little sweep under the 67. maybe goes to like 60 and then wicks back up quickly, and then we go back to 315. I'm just mainly looking for a move back to the highs because the market hasn't really moved lower much. All it did was just go back to the opening range low. So some people may be like, oh, this is super bearish, but all we did was just go back to the opening range low. So I feel like if we can sweep the 67 low and bounce back quickly, get a quick reaction from some buyers, we could easily retest back 88 to potentially 315. So right there, we sweep it and we get an instant reaction from the buyers. They wake it back up right away. And when I see some buying and it's just stalling in the area for a pretty long time, I start adding it to my position. I take a long with a stop like under 60 right there, and then I add more as it goes up. Now that I'm confirmed, my first target is around this 88, but I didn't sell there. I didn't have time. I was about to, and like it just came down really quickly. And then it goes back up here. So I'm kind of looking at this, basically this wick area right here, this 310 area, and then right there, this was my last final target because I know this is a really big resistance. So I know if there is a possibility that we go to 310, 315, and we just reject, right? So the moment I saw it rejected 313 and start to wake up, basically just rejecting the opening range mid resistance, I basically just get out right away. As you can see here, I just get out and then it basically just comes right back down. I'm gonna speed this up a little bit. So far I'm still thinking, okay, as long as we can kind of hold this 290 area, I could literally just keep on buying 290 and selling 310. Buy 270, sell 290, 310. I take a short right there, multiple shorts. I had 315, and my stop is again at 322. Remember, this is the exact same short I took here. Remember, and my stop is the exact same stop at 323 because over 323, look what could happen. Especially now that we've done it before, it could happen again now. And it's now my first target would be 298, where where we bounced last time, where we see wicks in the same area, then potentially the opening range low. But I'm just targeting quick 15, 20 points, not really much. We dropped really quickly, so that's why I take profits really fast. And then I think I keep like a runner or something, just in case we drop like a little bit lower. And I just see it wick and I just get out. So at this point, I'm thinking, okay, maybe we could take long again. The long has worked here. The long has worked here. It can kind of work in the same area again. As long as, we're kind of holding this 270 area and we're not really going to 250, we could just keep on recycling this area and just keep on buying it and go up. Keep on buying and go up. Up, we short down. It's just range trading, right? When we go down, we buy. When we go up, we sell. It's really simple. The key here, though, is to stay disciplined and to stay patient until you get to your level. We're not going to be shorting here. We're not going to be buying here. You want to buy at the low at your support levels when your risk is defined, and you want to short at the resistance where your risk is defined. This doesn't really take extreme skill. You just have to be patient. You have to have your levels ready. But at this point, I'm still thinking, okay, I'm trying to get a long off 270, same exact time. I'm seeing the exact same reaction we saw last time. Remember all the wicks, and we did not grab that 62 low. So I'm thinking, okay, I just see a super slow reaction at the 80s, so I take some off there. But I believe I buy it back. Yeah, so I buy it back because I'm like, okay, so I got scared a little bit here that this could possibly reject and go lower. But I see it holding the area with a bunch of wicks, kind of basically what it did here. So I add a bunch back here. And it's okay to add your position back. You didn't really lose anything. And then I have a stop somewhere under 60 right here where the previous wick was. And I'm targeting, a potential breakout to back to 315. Basically, exact same thing. And it just dumps right under. I just take it off quickly because I was already kind of a little bit nervous from the way it's been trading. We didn't really get a strong reaction. If you pay attention here, we got a super strong reaction really quickly, right? 1 minute, boom, and we're back up to 290. But here 3 minutes, and we're still kind of stuck under 285. So from kind of how slow the market was moving in the area, I figured there wasn't really enough buying there. But maybe if we sweep this low, and kind of go back up, then I'll just buy it and take it back to the highs. And I just kind of stop loss there. There's no need to just hold it, There's the reaction I was looking for in the beginning. Remember, we got the big candle, then we got the, the 60 retest, kind of similar to the swing, and we just went up. I don't think I re-added this though. At this point here, I'm thinking, okay, we made this high. We failed. We made a lower high, and now we're making another lower high. So we potentially could have a trend day down. As if we reject this 75 to 85 area, we keep testing it and make a lower high, we could just keep dropping. So that was kind of what was going through my head right now. Since we didn't have a reaction off the 670 to 65s like last time, I'm thinking buyers might be a little bit weaker down here. Especially that we're not really getting any strong moves from the buyers. They're not letting it drop, but it's not really by much, and we get a strong reaction there. So remember, we're down to 50 from almost 70 where we bounced last time. Last time we bounced at 70. Now we're back at 50, and we're not getting those big candle reactions anymore. So that tells me that buying momentum is just a lot weaker. This does look like it's forming a bottom, so you can kind of see how it's trying to curl with all the wicks, especially near our 100% extension level. And at this point, I'm thinking, okay, I potentially want to short somewhere in this area. So maybe somewhere around here, I am potentially looking to go short and take it down to 40. I make like a sweep this low, for example, and just kind of go a little bit lower. It's kind of what I'm thinking right now. So I take a bunch of shorts here near the area. You see how it's struggling here? It's just making another lower high. We did the same thing here. We did the same thing here. Zigzag up, zigzag up, zigzag up, and we just go lower. So that was kind of thinking, and I was thinking we stop loss just like basically right above this wick, just in case it breaks out. I don't eat a full candle back to 300 or 290 or whatever. It was kind of dropping. So far it's so good. And we just get a massive candle up, and I just stop loss. This candle looked beautiful. Like, we could have flushed down, which is the reason why I didn't TP. Like, lots of people would have just TP'd there saying there's just a demand zone right there. But what I'm thinking is we had a resistance zone right here, and, I want this to go a little bit lower. So we just get a massive pop here. I'm like, okay, all right, whatever. Buying maybe down here, whatever. And then we go back to the same area, and we're struggling. Remember, the same area that I marked from the wick right here. We're struggling in the exact same area, even though we just got a massive, almost 30-point pop. So I'm thinking, I don't think buyers are as strong as they seem here. Sellers are still kind of in control. So at this point, I want to short again in the same area with a potential stop loss right above this candle's highs. So a stop loss above the candle's highs where we broke out. And, as long as we kind of reject this box, we look good. All right, here. So I just take some profits there just to scale some out in the area, just so I don't take a loss in case another candle like this happens, and then I stop out a break even, like for a point or something when this candle comes again. So we got the same reaction from here to here, and I'm like, okay, there's probably buying down here. I'm not gonna force it. There's no need to stay short. Just take your gains and basically just run away. I'm thinking, okay, the next trade I could get is a potential short again at 315. Or a potential long down here at 70. So either a long down here at 60, 55, 60, 70, or a potential short up here at 315. Same position we took here and same position we took here with the exact same stop at 323. The fact that it was holding this opening range low was kind of good right there. She could classify this as, manipulation or whatever. At this point, I'm thinking, okay, so remember the 315 short I had kind of planned from all the way down there as my next possible trade. Remember, we're not taking random trades. They're all at predefined levels. So we had the 315 short here, 315 short here. I'm thinking we're rejecting here again, we're rejecting here again, especially coming after a 70-point move up. You know, we went from 40 to, to this almost 75 points into a big resistance. I'm thinking, okay, we're struggling at the resistance. It's a big resistance. We could see how there's a big volume cluster here. I'm thinking, okay, if we can kind of get this 315 short one more time and I stop at, 323, 10 points, we could potentially revisit this, 288 opening range area where we wicked all the way down here from. I was kind of sad that it went without me because I wanted to short it, but I get my chance. I think I think I short it in a couple minutes or really soon. Okay, so it tried to break out and it failed, and that's when I short 315 with basically a stop at 323. You see how it literally didn't break 323, and this is just not an exact level, it was just like a rough estimation. But it went to 323 and just rejected because that was the breakout level. Over 323, look what happened last time. Just massive. Kind of came close here and it rejected. So I'm thinking, okay, we just rejected 323. We have a big level here. I'm gonna write it down. So it tests one more time, it fails, and I'm thinking, okay, I'm targeting this 288 where we kept bouncing in this area with potentially, leaving a runner under 280 for potential flush. So I take most off there at the 288 level, and I just get really lucky, honestly. Right after I covered, it kind of just flies. Like it just wicks down here, I cover, and all of a sudden I don't know what happened. I think there was news or auction, some bond auction or something, and yeah, it just flew basically. But the thing is, I had my exit predetermined at the opening range low, so it's not really luck. But so next trade I'm looking at is kind of looking to either short this 24 right here or short this 38 where we kind of failed last time. So I just shorted it up here. This is kind of a risky trade, and I have a stop loss like right above these highs, just in case that was just a random pop, and we revisit back to 288. That'd be like 50 points or something, and we would just pop instantly. And I'm pretty sure I stop out, lose 10 points on this, I believe. Yeah, this is a little bit riskier. I was shorting the pop here, kind of around the 324 area, and yeah, it just kept going. At this point, I'm like, okay, so this is kind of a character change. We had this chop here, we had this manipulation at the bottom where we held the 240. I'm thinking, okay, if we can hold this, 240 area, 230 area, we could potentially break out over 67 and potentially target 87. It's kind of the same setup I had here, remember? I added the 30s, I added the 27s, and I sold into the 50s. But now we're holding the opening range high, and we're kind of getting a really strong move. So I'm thinking, we can just hold this 38 level here, with a stop loss potentially at 20 or something. We can, as long as we just hold this area, we can fly over 67, potentially 90 or something. So I add some there, and it just breaks out really quickly. But I know there's a lot of resistance here, and it's stalling. It's just being really slow in the area, which I just I didn't like at all. I kept seeing sellers on the tape, so I was like, I'm just gonna get out. You can see how in the 50s area I was noticing some sellers and it started to come down, but it ultimately just goes back up. And remember, my stop loss is somewhere under this 20, so I sold most of my position up in the 50s, and then my other position that I still had left over, I just sold it for almost break even, 3 points or something. Just in case, there's no reason to take a 15-point loss on this. when I just cashed out some gains. Theoretically, I could just add back in the 38 and, you know, basically where I bought, but it just looks a lot worse because, remember, we failed here last time, and we just tested this again. It's kind of like equal highs here in this 55 area. I don't want another move down like this, so I'm just, you know, being a little bit more safer, especially with a lot of gains from earlier. I don't want to really risk much going into the day. It unfortunately holds this area right after I sell. I believe this flies. So that was a good sell there. That was a good sell there as well. So at this point, I'm thinking the only other trade option I have here is possibly either longing 313 or longing 288. I'm not really looking for a short because the short would have either been at 38 or would have been, you know, somewhere at 50. I'm not really looking to do a short. It's not in my favor. I'm looking to go long, either at 313 or 288, depending on how fast it dumps. But I do not think I get a chance. So it kind of just holds this 30 area, and I kind of FOMO in a little bit. But I just saw a bunch of buying down here near 30. So I buy it with a stop loss at, you know, 20. So I'm risking 10 points for the bare minimum of getting 20. So I'm you know, I bought at 30. You know, if this trade works, I'm getting at least 20 points back to 50, basically where we just tested. And I'm seeing it hold, so it kind of a similar thing to down here, and down here as well, and down here. We're trying to make this higher low here. So we kind of went up. We're kind of just kind of like a bear bull flag, kind of just flagging down there, right above the opening range high. And look what happens over the opening range high. We could literally just blast up. So what I'm thinking here, okay, this area holds. We can see all the little wicks right there, right? You kind of see all the wicks in the area. As long as we kind of hold this area where we blasted before and we hold this 20, I believe we could just like fly up. So that's kind of what's going through my head right now. But this needs over 38. Like this could be another lower high here. You know, this could be a lower high here, lower high. I just trim some at 38 and just kind of let the rest, you know, play out. So I'm just kind of just selling the strength there. There's no like hard PT. I just know the 50s area. There's a lot of sellers in around 50 to 55. So we got another big drop. This is really volatile, but this is like 10, 15 minute point candles. So it holds opening range high. I theoretically speaking, I should have added more with a stop loss at 20, but I kind of missed out on that. And I kind of just take my last one, and the right after I sell, it literally just flies because I saw this rejection. So right after I sell, kind of literally just flies. Pretty unfortunate, actually. Right to my opening range extension level. And at this point, I'm not thinking to go long or short. This is a no trade zone. You know, market kind of just broke out. But it didn't break out by much, only by 30 points. And we're still pretty far in the day. So we could break out lower. So I'm potentially thinking, okay, I could try to get a dip around 75, you know, in this area where it's holding, kind of like in the same area here, with a stop loss maybe like under 68, 63, 65, a stop loss in this area, and potentially break out this 87 area so we could like go to 22,400, which is just like a liquidity magnet. But there was just a lot of selling, and I don't think I took it. At this point, I'm thinking, okay, we're back to the opening range mid. I'm looking to potentially take a trade off the opening range low where I could go long again, or if we kind of hold this 305 to 315 area, I would potentially be interested in taking a long position and targeting back 340. So we start getting all these wicks here at 303, kind of similar to what happened here. And I'm thinking, all right, you know, this is starting to look good. I unfortunately missed my entry there. At this point, I'm thinking, okay, so the opening range mid level we had, it broke out of the 303, went to the back to the opening range high. This is just beauty, man. This is trading level to level. Look at this: opening range low to opening range high, opening range mid to the extension, back down to the opening range mid. This is just trading level to level. It's not playing around today. Really, some really beautiful action, honestly. So next up, I'm thinking, okay, if we can kind of get a dip down to these areas of wicks here, where sellers become buyers, uh, kind of in this bubble here, somewhere between 13 to 23, 25. I'd be looking to take it long, so it kind of bounces from here to here, and then we go back up. It's kind of what I'm thinking at this point. Um, yeah, so it's basically what I do, right? I just see the drop back to, in these wick areas. I try to buy something right here, 24, with my stop loss being under 09. So I'm risking like, 15 points, 16 points, whatever. And I'm looking for potentially making 60, 70, points if we break out potentially. So just looking beautiful, right? So I add more on the opening range high retest. I take some profits just in case this comes back down. Because remember, the 50s areas, remember, we had sellers here. We had sellers here. And this was a failed breakout. So I'm thinking, okay, there's one of two things that's going to happen. We, go into the same 50s area here. I could draw a quick box. We go into the same 50s areas right there. And we kind of just reject. Or we go up to 60, go back to 50, and either go back to 90. So that's kind of the two things that are running through my head. I'm still in this trade, but I need to take some gains off just in case it rejects this 50 area. I'm selling to strengthen. If it comes back down, I could just rebuy it cheaper, right? So if I sold at 48, 49, whatever. If it comes back to 38, where I bought a little bit more, I could just buy more, and I basically just save myself 10 points. So far it's looking beautiful. It's making a base right under the resistance and right above support in a pretty bullish market, but it's kind of ranging up and down. So I'm starting to get a little bit suspicious. I want a move instantly. And we go up to the 55s, and it's small candles, right? So there's no real buying aggression. If we were to see buying aggression over 50, we should have seen a candle like this. We should have seen a candle like that. We should have seen a candle like this, where there's just short spaces just get squeezed. But as we go into our resistance zone, we're starting to see these little candles, and what these little candles mean is they literally mean indecision. Buyers couldn't bring it up, sellers couldn't bring it down. And I do not want to see indecision in our breakout area. Indecision in our breakout area means sellers are not ready yet, but more importantly, that buyers are not there. And I do not want to see that. And when buyers are not there, I'm not there either. So I try to get out in this 50s area. We're still hanging around there. The thing is, this trade is taking way too long now. We're kind of just hovering around this 50. Keep in mind, this is all a big resistance zone. So we're just hanging around this area for too much, and today's just choppy, right? It's not really doing much. It's just going up and down. So I'm thinking, okay, this is a resistance zone. And we failed to break out here, we came right back down 20 points. I'm thinking, all right, this may not work. And I already took a bunch of gains, right? I already sold some here, I already sold some here, I already sold some there. So I already took a bunch of gains, but and then I just sell the rest here just in case this breaks down back under 40. And because under 40, this could just break down back to 315 or whatever. And this is a resistance zone, so there's no reason to fight the sellers coming down from it. I don't remember if this goes back up or down. So it rejects the same resistance, and it just flushes. And the trade works, but I was kind of looking for a bigger move up to 90 or whatever. And I believe that was the last trade I took. So we're kind of just ranging in the same area, right? Same between the opening range mid, opening range high, opening range low. And yeah, that was it. That was pretty much all the trades. I could recap them really quickly. I tried the long here, it didn't work. I tried it again right there, it worked. Tried the short, it worked. I got stopped out in the second half. After we broke out, I tried to get the, breakout retest. It's just a simple strategy. We break out, we retest the breakout level, tried to buy it, sold a bunch when it was kind of, struggling in the same resistance area. Then I sold some, I got stopped out on like 1/3 of my position or something when it broke down. Um, Kind of held the same 80 area right down there. So I took a long right there with a stop at the wick low. After it wicked up, it's really important. I didn't buy before it wicked down. I bought after it wicked up, and I sold into the resistance area, the opening range mid, and then I saw it struggling in the opening range mid, so I just took a quick short down there. I tried to buy the same area down here where I bought earlier. It didn't work. I sold some for a little bit of profit, then I got back in, and it flushed down. I tried shorting this, didn't work. Tried shorting it again. We got a dump, and then covered for basically nothing. We made nothing. Like this sequence right here broke even. I took a loss here, and then this gain made up for it, and I broke even here. So this just canceled each other out. Kind of waited for this trade for the opening range mid. So same short I took here, here, and here. I took opening range mid back to the opening range low. Tried to short this pop, which was kind of a risky play. Add the opening range high in case we broke out to 90, and then we failed. Tried to add it back here, and sold my last position right before we popped. And now that we're making a higher low here at 315, I'm thinking, okay, as long as we never test 290, we're good to go higher. So I add a bunch here. Remember at these wick areas, the 1, 2, 3. So seller turned into a buyer, resistance turned to support. I buy here, and then I buy some more after it goes up on the opening range retest, and then I sell into resistance near the 50s, and then I got stopped out on 1/3 for like 7 points or whatever. And the market is just ranging at this point. It's not really going up or down. I think it goes down later, but I just see it ranging up and down, up and down. These are just like 20, 10-point scalps. I'm not really interested. The main reason why I was taking these trades, like down here, you can see how I'm always trading in the same area, right? 30, 30. I buy 38. I'm buying 38. I'm covering in the same area. I'm covering 88. 80s right here. I'm buying down here. I'm always trading in the same area. Like, you'll never see me buy a random position. It's always in the exact same area. You always want to wait for an A+ position. A+ level, I'm sorry. You can see here, I'm selling 52, sold 53, 52s again here. And I sell, like, I'm selling in the same area the whole day. When there's a strong resistance or support, you want to be active only at those levels. Not at random levels. You want to be active only at those levels. And then I just stopped trading after because it's just kind of ranging up and down. I thought we'd, get a breakout over 90 here. But when it failed, I kind of just stopped because we were super late into the day, only an hour or two left. I figured if it was going to break out, I would have done it earlier, or I would have done it here, and I'll just take my gains. So beautiful day overall. Great reads. I think it's a great market, better than my great reads. Very self-explanatory, right? We just had the range, level to level, level to level, level to level, resistance to support. Almost every trade worked. It's a fantastic day. I hope this recap helped. Let me know if you guys want more of these. I think we made a little bit over $24,000 on this day in a couple of hours. So definitely a great day. And let me know if you guys enjoyed this. Drop a comment, a like, all that, whatever. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching. Take care.